What's going on, you guys? My name is Garrett, and I want to make a video today talking about how I am surviving the graveyard shift as a SOC analyst or a Security Operations Center analyst. So as you guys know, in previous videos, I've talked about how I am actively in the cybersecurity space. I work in the field, and I just got a new role back in September, officially as a information security engineer or a SOC analyst. And how it works at my place of employment right now is we do 3-month rotations. So we have 4 different styles of shift. We have first shift, which is 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And we all work 4/10s. I just want to make that very clear. We work 4/10s. First shift is 8 to 6. Second shift is 10 to 8. So 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Then it is second shift. No, that's actually considered middle day shift. Second shift is 2 p.m. to midnight. And then third shift is 11 p.m. to 9 a.m. And that's currently the rotation that I'm on right now. I am on the third shift or the graveyard shift. So I work from 11 p.m. to 9 a.m. 4 days out of the week. And then I get a 3-day weekend. And it's also nice, too, that everyone at my current work is only asked to work one of the weekend days. So you're either going to always have Saturday or Sunday off, which is nice. And we also rotate holidays. That's another nice thing, too. So if, the holiday season comes around, you're not one person stuck working every holiday, essentially. And the 3-month rotations make it easier to allow for that as well. But so currently I work 11 p.m. My mistake, 11 p.m. to 9 a.m. And essentially what I try to do in trying to survive this shift, one, is I'm trying to get my sleep schedule as consistent as possible. Now, ironically, I'm speaking to you this morning at 5:44 in the morning, where I did allow myself to sleep in. So essentially what was happening is I try and get in bed for like 4:30 and get to sleep for like 5:30, and then I have to wake myself up at 10:45 to be ready for work at 11. It's a lot easier for me being able to sleep that close to when I need to work because I work fully remotely. You guys would, I did mention that in a previous video. This role is completely remote, which makes it a lot easier. So I guess I can only speak to surviving the graveyard shift. If you have a remote job, it's going to be significantly harder if you have to travel to an office. But for me personally, I try and get in bed around 4:30 p.m., get to sleep hopefully by 5:30, and then I sleep until 10:45, and then I wake up, I work, and then most people I know go to bed right at 9 a.m., right when they get off work. I can't because I'm an overthinker like crazy, and my mind is always buzzing when I get off work. So I typically just stay up, and then I kind of do my day thing. I go to the gym, I do a sauna, and then I come home, maybe do some chores, and then I get myself tired and I lay down for 3:30, 4 o'clock hopefully. And I need to honestly push that back farther. I need to get as close to 2 as possible so that I can try and get as close to 8 hours of sleep as I possibly can during the week. Today, I went to bed. I started sleeping at probably 5:30, and I slept until 4:30, so 11 hours. I had some making up to do on some sleep hours. But in terms of general tips that I can give that I've noticed that already has helped me, one, before you go to sleep, especially if you're working remotely, get the house as dark as you possibly can prior. So get your body really used to it being dark and that it's time to go to bed. So generally speaking, like an hour or two before I'm hitting the sack, I close all the blinds in my house. I've got blackout curtains in my bedroom. That's another big one. Buy blackout curtains. I'm putting on my blue blocker glasses. If I'm on the computer, I'm using the blue light filters. I'm turning down the brightness probably on both on all my monitors I might be on as low as they can go, and I turn my blue light filters on to pretty much max so that my body gets really tired. I have central air. This is another luxury I have. So again, this might not apply to everybody, but I have air conditioning. So I get that sucker down to 66, 65 degrees. So I get my body cold. I get it dark. Also, something that's I think has really helped me is buying magnesium glycinate. So instead of buying melatonin, which if you use too much melatonin, your body can actually stop producing melatonin on its own, and then you become dependent on it. When you buy magnesium, it's just a natural, vitamin that your body needs, and that actually promotes restfulness and getting sleepy, and it helps promote in your brain tryptophan, which then creates melatonin. So I've started taking like 360 milligrams of magnesium prior to like an hour or two before bed, and that has just knocked me out. It's been great. So, buy blackout curtains, get the house dark, get it cold, pop your magnesium a couple hours before bed. Do some boring chores prior to bed, like do some dishes or vacuuming or whatever, something that's just going to get you bored and tired prior to going to bed. Also, what I have found has helped for me, let's say like middle day, let's say you get off work around when I do, go to the gym and work out. And if you have a sauna, I really recommend doing a sauna because it can just get you so exhausted and so tired. Really push yourself. I find it so that, I do a workout, I do a sauna, I get really tired, I come home, I rehydrate, I get it dark, I get it cold, I get tired, pop my magnesium, and by that time I'm ready to hit, get knocked out, obviously. Again, I got more work to do and trying to get to bed sooner, but those are some quick tips that I can give. Try and make your sleep as consistent as possible. Ironically, this was my first week doing the graveyard, and I'm kind of making up for some sleep on the weekend, but going forward, I'm going to try and make my sleep schedule as consistent as possible, try and get to bed sooner, and try and wake up at the same time, even on my days off. I think that's also very huge to get that consistency going. In terms of what to expect on the job, you guys might be wondering this: what is graveyard like, as a SOC analyst at night? I work for a company that has like 50,000 employees. We are worldwide. It's a big company. And, I'm 3 to 4 months in, but most of my shift on graveyard is I am by myself. And there's a reason for that. Your weekday nights are definitely going to be busier. My Saturdays are definitely the slowest, but generally speaking, it is just slower at night. You're going to get less alerts. There's just less activity, less emails, things like that. You'll probably have some nights where it's busy. You'll have some nights where you might need to escalate to, an on-call, either incident response guy or threat hunter, or maybe your manager or something. That's definitely going to happen. But overall, your volume at night's going to be lower. You'll be able to, relax a little bit in terms of like, you're not going to be constantly going and going and going like you might be during the day. But overall, the job is slower. But you also got to make sure that you don't fall asleep, So if it gets that slow, make sure you're always doing something to keep yourself awake and alert, because it can be, it can be tough. And, someone who I am definitely a morning person. My body naturally likes to go to bed at like 10 o'clock and wake up at 6:30. That's where my body likes to be. So when you're someone like me and you get flipped to third shift, it's really tough. I went my first couple days of this week, I got like 6 hours of sleep in 2 days. Like it was terrible. Now, because it was kind of forced, my body's starting to adjust now by the end of week 1. But that's just a heads up I'll give too. If you're someone who can't adapt really easy to new sleep schedules, your first couple days sleep's going to be kind of non-existent. And I kind of just toughed it out, to be honest with you. I do have buddies that can they can just like sleep whenever, and their body will just readjust and just get them 8 hours or whatever that is. My body's definitely not like that. My body's stubborn for sure. But overall, first week went well. I got, 2.5 more months to go, basically. But, leave a comment down below of what you guys think. If you've done the graveyard shift, what tips have helped you, what things have helped you. If you're trying to get into security operations and trying to get into cybersecurity and you're offered a graveyard shift and you're trying to get your foot in that door, I definitely recommend take the shift. Do whatever you can to get some work experience, as I talked about in one of my previous videos. But overall, guys, that's all I got for you. Summing it up. Magnesium, blackout curtains, get the house dark, get it cold, keep your sleep schedule consistent. Maybe work out, do a sauna prior to going to bed so it gets you more tired earlier in the day, so that you might be able to get to bed either before your shift, or if you're someone who likes to sleep right after your shift, then you could do that as well. But anyways, guys, yeah, leave those comments down below of what you guys think. And that's all for now. Have a good one.